Y'all welcome back. Today we're gonna be doing an upgrade to the old Cajun yacht. So what we got here and behind me is a 400-watt solar kit. Comes with everything you need to put it together. You got the brains of the operation right here, charge controller. Comes with all the wiring. You got 20 feet of panel wiring, 10 feet of main line, which goes from here to your battery. All the clips, brackets, hardware, and plug and play plugs. So let's take a little closer look, and we're gonna try to get to installing. All right, y'all, let's take a closer look at it. This product is from the people over at Callsun Solar. So y'all can look them up, callsunsolar.com, and they got this setup, a few different setups, whatever you may need for whatever your application is. So this setup here, as y'all can see, is an MPPT charge controller, and this is compatible with your lithium LiFePO4 batteries, which is what we have on the Cajun yacht. So that's gonna be perfect for lithium batteries. You got nice plugs with O-ring seals to keep any moisture out of there. You got a hardware kit, more plugs, mounting brackets, all the mounting brackets you need, heavy gauge wire, and this is the one that runs to your battery, to the charge controller. And the main event, two 200-watt solar panels. And these here are bifacial modular, and from what I'm understanding, if part of it's blocked by the sun, they'll pull off more on one side or the other to kind of keep a pretty good charge going. So I think they work good in cloudier conditions. They'll still put out pretty decent. So that's the product. Let's go ahead and jump to the Cajun yacht and go figure out where I want to mount these things, and then we'll get to putting the brackets on the solar panel. All right, y'all, we on board the Cajun yacht here. So per the instructions, it's saying go ahead and install the charge controller first. Get it wired up to the battery before you do the solar panels. So I guess that's the safest way to do this, because once them solar panels are out in the sun, they will be producing power. So first step is going to be to locate where you want to put the brains of the operation at. So I pretty much think I found a good spot where it's easy to get to and where I'll be able to see things and check the gauges at ease. So let's go ahead and show y'all where I'm gonna put that at and get this thing hung up. All right, y'all, we're in the back of the cabin here where I got my little pantry at, and about the best place I can see to put it for me is gonna be right here where my paper towel holder is. So this will be good access. I got a good spot to run my wiring through, and easy to get to the controls. I ain't gotta dig nowhere. They're right here where I can easily get to them. I can even lay in bed and see what's going on. So first step, I'm gonna get this old paper towel holder out my way and get it relocated somewhere else. I think I got a good spot for that too. So let's get to removing that. Got that out of the way. And let me check the fitment of this thing. I'm thinking right there is gonna be where I want it. So y'all can see, it's pretty much the drop and hook style setup. Put your screws, measure this out, put your screws, pop it, lock it in. So let me go ahead and get that done. We'll move on to the next step. All right, now that I got my location figured out where I want to put the charge controller, y'all can see here is them drop and lock top setup it has on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull these measurements, maybe make a cardboard template and pop my screws in. Then we should better just push it and lock it in place. All right, y'all, I ran into one small problem. Let me show y'all. Y'all can see where them screws are, screw holes. I can get the top to line up, but right here, they're in the air. So my solution is, I cut me this panel. I'm gonna put this right here, screw that down to there, and charge controller is gonna screw to that. So right now what I'm doing, I'm kind of marking all the centers, the center this way and the center across. Then I'll be able to pull my measurements on this here. Y'all can see I already got my cross line. Now I gotta get my uprights and try to get these screws put exactly where they go so this thing will pop in place. So I made my mark across the board. Now I got my center marks on my screws lined up with that mark, and now I'm gonna mark the center this way. I marked it on the charge controller itself. I'm gonna put my little marks right here and pull this off, get my straight edge out, and put that where it's going to, where that line's gonna cross the cross line. That's where my screws are gonna go. Alright, I'm gonna put that point right on that X. At least that's the plan. And I'm using some little, what is 3/4 inch decking screws. Use whatever you want. And just kind of leave a little gap for the charge controller to slip on in there. Now I kind of test fit it and adjust the screws like I need to make sure it's, you know, kind of snug. I don't want it loose. Go ahead and get all 4 of them on there. I'm trying not to pass a screw through my leg. Got that. Do a quick little test to make sure my measurements were all right. Well, the measurements line up, but the head of my screw's too big. So I might have to go dig around and find something else. I wonder if the ones with the kit that it came with might work. Alright y'all, figured out a solution. I put the wood screws from the back side. Y'all take a look there, and I put a tie wrap head inside of here and then cinched it. And that might work out pretty good, because what it actually did, y'all see that space here? It brought the charge controller away from that panel just a 1/4 inch about, and it's on there, ain't moving. So that's gonna allow air to pass through to get to these cooling fins. So I may change it up later, but so far it's tight, it ain't moving, and I think that's gonna help keep this thing cool. I don't know how much heat it puts out, but they do got air fins on the back of this thing, so I imagine it needs cooling. So that's gonna be a win-win. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in like that, and if I have trouble with it loosening up or something, then I'll revert to going to the store, getting the right screws I need, and I can always drill it back out with holes to get airflow. But I think that's gonna work for now. Let me go ahead and put this up. Let me go about right here. Make sure we're somewhat square with the eyeballs. Measure Captain J style. Don't need no tape measure. We're gonna eyeball it just like I cook. Put them 2 there, and I'm gonna pop one right here in the center. I guess I can put 2, but this ain't no. I'll put 2. There we go. We gonna put 2. Alright, y'all. Captain J normally don't like instructions, but I'm gonna do it today. So we got that part, step 1. Got the charge controller where we want it. Step 2 is gonna be to get the main wire that goes from there to the battery, hook it to the charge controller first, then to the battery. So let me go grab that right here out the box. So this is the wire that's gonna go to the battery. This goes to the battery. This is gonna go to the terminals of the charge controller. So first thing I gotta do is run this through the bolt, out the back to the battery, and bring it in. All right, y'all, we can see we're in the cockpit back here, the old Cajun yacht here. Old outboard motor, that's my back deck. And this is where that 300 amp hour battery is. That's my cranking battery. And this is the cable for the charge controller. Y'all can see I'm running it along here with all my throttle cables and outboard cables and other wiring. And I left a void to pass more wire in through there. So at this point, don't hook it to the battery yet because you got 2 live ends still on the inside of the boat. Then you don't want them to arc together. So the battery won't be hooked up until the charge controller is hooked up. So I'll go in and I'll show you all the terminals. We'll hook them on in there. All right, y'all can see the wire comes from underneath through that hole way down up in there, comes out, and we're gonna run it back up, back underneath here, into here. And this is why you don't want to hook it to your battery first, because these 2 ends are bare, which is, they got the little leftover pieces, but you don't want them things to arc off on nothing. And charge controller right here, all your terminals. So you got your solar panel input, plus and minus, your battery, plus and minus, and this here is an auxiliary to where if you want to run a fan, a light, you can go directly to here. I may use that, I may not, we're gonna see. But right now we want to hook up to the battery side, and we're gonna need a Phillips, it look like. So I'll go grab that and we'll hook this wire into that. And then you're gonna go red to the plus, which is positive. Oh, let's see, right here. Kind of twist these ends good. Where I'm at, don't want to get lost here. Tighten it down. Again, make sure it's perfectly snug. You don't want that popping out of there. So give it a good tug. Now we can hook it to the battery, I believe. I'll go check the instructions to make sure. Alright, y'all. Well, we got the line hooked up to the battery. So same thing on the battery. Red is positive, black is negative. And this thing coming right on. Kind of got some glare. Let's see. Y'all can read the screen. It's not showing any load because I don't have nothing hooked to the load side of this box. I'm running directly off the battery with the house. But y'all can see I'm at 13.2 volts. No solar coming in because I have no solar panels. So alright, y'all, we're gonna step outside and we're gonna go install the brackets on the solar panels. And I'm waiting on the roof to dry because they got a little dew up there. I'm waiting for the sun to burn that off. Because when I put the solar panels down, I'm gonna caulk the brackets before I screw them down, make sure I get a good seal. So let's go put the brackets on the solar panels for now while waiting on this old roof to dry up. Then we can fit them, see where we want them. Alright, y'all, we outside and they got pre-drilled holes in the panel itself. We got the panel upside down right now. Y'all can see the wiring. So this basically goes like this and comes with the bolts and everything to bolt that up. 10mm wrench and ratchet. Let's go ahead and install these, and they got 4 of these per panel. Simple enough. Catch the inside with the wrench. cinch them down tight and do all four. So this is kind of the diagram for the 12-volt setup, which is what I have. So you're going to be hooking them in parallel with each other. And it also has the option, if you're running a 24-volt system, then you can also, you go plus to minus, minus to plus on the panels if you got 24-volt. So you can use this whole system on 24 or 12-volt. Our application is 12-volt. So we hooking them up parallel, and it kind of gives you a little description on how to plug them in and all that. So I'm gonna locate our connectors, get all that ready. So I need this right here. The 2 panels are gonna come into this. You got 2 like this, one for the hot side, one for the ground. Also has an inline 30 amp fuse. I guess we'll have to figure out where we're gonna want that at, and the other one, so y'all can see one's female, one's male. So I'm guessing the hot side is gonna be the female side, because other side you don't, yeah, you can see the plus on it. You don't want the hot side exposed and get shocked. And then the main cables are gonna plug in to the single side of it, your negative and your positive, and this is going to run to the charge controller. So we got all the parts. So now I guess I got to get up on the roof, and I'm going to lay the first panel on there forward, pull the wire in to where it's easier to get to, I guess, because I can't put this one first. Yeah, so I got to put the one mid-roof and then one closer to the back. That way I can pull the wires, then hook it to the second panel, and I can work my way off the back of the boat and not having to crawl over solar panels to hook them up. So let me go get that going. Alright, y'all, instead of bringing my camera up there, taking a risk of losing it, right now I'm going to be measuring, centering it up, and making sure I got enough space to put the second panel on the back side. So I'm going to go ahead and put that thing up, make my measurements, make sure it's all squared up, and get that one done. Then we can install the second one. Alright, y'all, put the screws in, and then now I'm gonna back them out. Y'all can see already got the holes made. So now I'm gonna pull these wires out to where I could get to them when I put the second panel. Get my wires out, wrap them together, and then I'm gonna go around and lift it up a little bit and pump some silicone in all the holes, then screw it back down for the final time. Lift this one up if I can. And we're gonna pump that old silicone in there. Get that silicone pumped in, make sure it's smashed, and I'm gonna put a little bit here too. Try not to get it on the solar panel. Like so. gonna simply do that on all 4 corners. All right, y'all, we got the second panel installed. Y'all can see, got it all silicone. Got my lead wires right there. So I gotta pass the main wires back under, hook them into here, but I think I gotta hook to the charge controller first. So let me go check that out and run the main wires. I gotta drill a hole, figure out where I want to pass them to go inside. So let's go do that, and we'll be putting power to the battery before long. All right, y'all, got me a nice big hole in the back of the yacht over here. Ran my leads down, tuck them back there. We're gonna neaten that up in a little bit. So the excess is all rolled up underneath there. So we're gonna tighten that up a little bit also. Comes up through behind here into the charge controller, and then this here I'm gonna cinch up in there tight too. I think we're about ready to go make the plug-in up top, get the solar panels plugged in, and see what we got. So let's go plug that in up there. And before I do that, I want to check my battery level right now, see what time it is, and see if this thing will fully charge this battery before dark. So let's check that out right now. All right, y'all, got my battery pulled up on my app here. Let's check it out. So y'all can see we're sitting at 84% right now. Icebox is running about 16, well, no, the icebox ain't on. I'm pulling about 16 watts right now just with the lights on. But we're at 84% right now, and it is 12:30. The glare. Well, anyways, it's 12:32 to be exact. So we're gonna go make the plug-in up there and see just how long it takes to get my battery back full charged. I am still running the icebox. I'm probably gonna leave the lights on to see if it'll keep up with that and gain. So let's go check it out. We'll go plug it in and let this thing start doing what it's supposed to do. All right, y'all, there's the main leads going from inside. Got a 30 amp fuse right here, and just pretty much simply plug it in. Set you on a tripod. We'll plug them in. All right, go ahead and connect those positive. Just like so. Got the negative one plugged in. There's a little fish wire I had a while ago. Get that out of there. Now we can tuck all this in underneath the panel somehow. Alright, we got them plugs underneath here, keep them out of the sun. So let's go see if we got some power coming in. Alright, y'all, I don't know how good y'all gonna be able to see this. Let's see. We got 3 amps of load right now. What this is, panel voltage, battery voltage at 13.6, panel voltage 13 going 0.4 load. Panel put out 1 amp hour so far. Where is the, how much is the panel putting out? Let me let it cycle through. 22, okay, that's the voltage. Putting out right now about 23, 24 volts. The panel's putting out at the moment. So it's definitely doing something. So it was about 12:35 by the time we got it plugged in. 12:41 right now. Let's see here. Pull up my battery again, and we're already at 85%. I just plugged this thing in about 5 minutes. 85%. So it done put 1 amp hour in. So that must be, I'm trying to figure out all these controls, what they mean. I didn't read through the book, so I'm guessing I'm gonna learn as I go with it. But already done came up a percentage on my battery, so it's definitely doing something. So at that rate, that'll be what, 10, I don't know, it might charge my battery in an hour. And this is a 300 amp hour battery, and it was down at 80. Y'all gonna have to tell me, I don't remember. Oh, it was at 84% left of battery life. So what that is, 10, 15 amp hours. So let's see how long it takes. And I got the icebox running and put the light back on because I was worried about the glare on the screen. So let's see what it's gonna do, yo. All right, yo. Give y'all a little update here. See what time it is. It is 1:20, and we are up to 88%. So we done gained 4% capacity. And what that is, when we 12:40, so 20, about 40 minutes. So of course, the day I'm gonna put the solar panels and try to run a test, it won't get cloudy. So let me show y'all how this is going right now. So right now we are putting out, I can't make this clear, but anyways, that's the power coming in, and that's my battery telling me the wattage. The charge controller tells me the amperage. This is telling me the wattage coming in. And when the sun was out and not behind the clouds, I was getting up to 320 watts. So I guess that's pretty good for a 400 watt panel, because I know you get a little power loss through the inverter and through different things. So we did see up to 320 watts. Right now with it cloudy, it's ranging from 70 to about 115 watts. And then when the sun's coming back out, it jumps straight back to 300 plus. So look like it's doing its job. My icebox pulls about 35 watts. The lights pulls, I think, 16 watts with both of them. So it's definitely gonna keep up with what I got during the day. So a bright sunny day, it should stay, the battery should stay full charged. And like I said, I started with, what that is, 25%. Yeah, down 25%, and we're at 88% right now. So we're slowly climbing, even with the clouds. Got the icebox running, got the lights on. So it's doing something for sure. So that's gonna be pretty neat. Probably won't have to worry about charging this thing anymore, except for, you know, the more rainy days. But this battery here will go 4 or 5 days without a charge. And now that I got the solar panels, I should never have to worry about it, really, unless we get 2 weeks of rain. So that's pretty cool. I've been wanting to set up like this, but I didn't know nothing about it. And when they reached out and asked about a whole kit, then I was like, yes, because I want the whole kit. I didn't want to have to guess what controller I needed, guess what plugs I needed, and all this. This here, everything came with it. It's as simple as running the wires, plugging everything in, and it's doing what it's supposed to do. So that's gonna be a pretty nice add-on to here. But I guess I'll check back with y'all later on this evening, because it's not gonna charge as fast as I thought with these clouds coming in and out. But we'll come check back about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, see where we at. And in the meantime, y'all look the mess I got in here. I got stuff everywhere. So I'm gonna finish buttoning up my wires. I done got this one ran like I want it. So I gotta clean up my accents down there and get my boat back in organized and back how it belongs. Instead of like a tornado passed through here. So I'm gonna pick up my tools, get the boat back cleaned up, and we'll come check back in, I don't know, a few hours, 6 o'clock before dark, see where my battery's at. So right now we're at 88% and climbing. Alright, y'all, we're back a little bit earlier than I thought. it is 226, so almost 230. We're gonna call it 230. And the battery is 100% charged. As y'all can see, we're at 100%. Thing's still putting out 200 something watts. So battery is full charge, so that's 1240 to 330. So that's 1, 2, 3. So basically just under 3 hours I went from 84% to 100%, and that's on a 300 amp hour battery, so that's a big size battery. So I was probably what, 50, 30, 40 amp hours. They charged up in 3 hours, something like that. I don't know, I have to do the math, but somewhere around there. I don't remember the exact amp hours I had left on my battery when it's at 84%. I forget to check. I think it was about 264 maybe, something like that. But now we're all the way back to 300 amp hours of capacity. So there you have it. Installing the Callsun 400 watt solar kit. I think this thing's gonna work well on the Cajun yacht for what we do. Wouldn't say it'll keep up with air conditioning. Maybe add 2 more panels and then we'd probably have enough. Air conditioning pushes about 500 watts. At the peak it was putting out about 300. So we definitely be able to run an air condition quite a few hours without draining the battery all the way dead. So I'll probably be an experiment later on down the road. I still have to get I would need a what you call them things, power inverter, to go from DC to AC. So I'd probably need around a 2000 watt inverter to hook onto the battery. The better I can have AC current for the air conditioner. But that's it. The 400 watt Callsun solar power center MPPT charge controller doing her deal. So I can't wait to go on an old camping trip and see how she does out in the field. So hope y'all like this. I'll try to leave links down below for this setup, and I'm not sure if I got discount codes I'm gonna be offered, but if I am, I'm gonna throw them down in the description. Whoever's interested in something like this, y'all can go hit the link and y'all may get a discount. I'm not sure on that, but y'all go check it out, or y'all can wait a little while and see how this system does. And I know Captain J, he gonna test something before we're gonna go ahead and say it's a perfect product. We're gonna keep it real, y'all. So we'll keep up with this, check it in about a month maybe, see how it's doing. And I'm sure I'll show it in some of our camping trips, but that's gonna be it for today. So y'all have a good one. I'll probably post this video as a midweek, and then we'll get back to camping. So y'all have a good one, y'all. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.